Welcome, ladies and gents. This is Griever, your Broken Tooth host as always, bringing you guys Ayakashi Triangle, Chapter 31. Now, there is a slight problem with this chapter, but Garaku was so badass that I think I'm going to let it slide. Because we still got story progression, we still got some confirmation stuff. I am a little upset that this major, great design villain, as I said, Chapter 30, we need to, I keep harping on this every review, let's get a real plot. Let's find a real antagonist. I don't care if it's the Ninja Association. I don't care if it's the King of all, the Ghost King of Dust. I don't care. Come up with somebody like this and have them stick around for more than 5 minutes, for God's sakes. But I'm going to table that for a moment. I'll complain about it next chapter. But because I'm going to table that, because this is going to be more of me simping for Garaku. Simping for Garaku this chapter, because oh, was he badass. He was so badass here. We all knew that Garaku was on the side of Suzu and everyone oh no, Garaku betrayed us and stuff, right? And this chapter goes on that part of his ability as the Dust King is he uses wind. He's you thought, you ninjas, you humans, you thought you were the only ones who could use wind jutsu? I have decaying demon wind and blah blah blah. And so Matsuri tries to fight this thing, but this thing is way out of his league, and Garaku recognizes that because he even states after he gets taken down in basically one shot and is starting to get burned and all this craziness, Garaku brings up the fact after he destroys one of the abilities, this dust box or something that's sucking everybody in like a black hole and all that stuff after one attack, and the Dust King's just ha ha ha, this is so easy, you're so weak. Garaku brings up the fact that listen, I would have preferred, and we know this from previous chapters, Matsuri's the hero. Matsuri's the one who has to save Suzu. It's his job to fight the Jinyo, it's his job to fight the Dust King, it's his job to do all that. It's his job to save Suzu. It's not my place. However, after all, you are the king, the Ghost King of Dust and all this stuff. You're the king of the Tsukogami and all that such. You've been gaining strength collecting dust since the Heinin period and all this such. And just says, look, Matsuri's not strong enough yet to take you on. You're a tier above. You're a couple tiers above. So right now, I sort of have to step in. He had a shot against the Jinyo. He had a shot against this, shot against that. But yeah, no, I've got to take you on. And then, he just laughs the entire time, right? And he's just you think you're stronger than me, Garaku? You were my servant. I taught you everything, all this stuff. And he's the former master of Garaku and all this some such. And 150 years ago, when he was sealed, Garaku confirms that Suzu is not the same Ayakashi medium. It is not the one that sealed you away. And he says, you have the wrong person. But then, of course, the Ghost King, the Dust King, immediately, she's a reincarnation. So we're getting the Inuyasha thing, Kikyo Kagome, right? That's what we're getting here. We have the Kikyo Kagome, spiritual princess, priestess, medium, whatever you want to call it. So not upset about that. That was always a good storyline. Reincarnation is usually fun. And then Garaku says, I expected you to figure that out. You're quite perceptive. All this fun jazz. And, the Dust King just keeps going on and on about, ha ha ha, it doesn't matter. I will, collect everything into the dust chest. I will kill the Ayakashi medium. I will kill the reincarnation. It does not matter. And you subjugated yourself to me. Have you forgotten your duty, Garaku? Yada, yada, yada. You are nothing more than a Tsukugomi of a brush. And we know that Garaku, gained power over time. But he's a brush style. He's a Tsukugami, an Ayakashi that was based off a painter's brush that was beloved, right? So he says, yeah, 150 years ago I did that because I was, because you were so strong. I had no choice when you came a calling sort of idea, right? But then the corrosive demon wind, the Ayakashi energy, none of that does anything to Garaku, right? Because Garaku's a pimp. Garaku is a goddamn pimp. And he just says, oh yes, that works against basically everybody. Look at Matsuri, one wave of your fan and your corrosive demon wind, and it's game over. But that only works on people that are weaker than you. And he's wait a minute, what are you trying to say? And we all know it because it didn't affect them. So here we have a flexing moment. We have you think you're seeing Kurosaki Ichigo. Fascinating moment. We're having that yes, that would work. if you were stronger than me. And he's like, you realize, yes, as you pointed out, it's been 150 years. Over 150 years, I've gotten a lot stronger. And I'm just like, yes. And he even says, this is how an Ayakashi gains power. Now, we sort of semi-knew this before, but now it's basically in black and white. And Garaku right here explains, an Ayakashi gains power as it is recognized and revered by humans. Just as Shirogane's powers were heightened as he was deified at a shrine for such a long time. That's why Shirogane is so powerful and considered the king of the Ayakashi in the region, because the more people revere and believe, it's basically a belief system, right? It's like the more faith and the more, think, in the most simplistic terms, think elf. Think Christmas spirit, right? Think the movie Elf. Like, with enough Christmas spirit and people believing in the spirit of Christmas and in Santa Claus and stuff, then the magic soars, right? And that's just the idea here. But Garaku puts out the fact that with cars, planes, TV, and the internet, I am no longer just a wandering painter or something. I am the painter. As we saw him go to art shows and we see like everybody recognizing the name Garaku, right? He is Garaku Utagawa. He is a famous painter. It's basically like having the name like Leonardo da Vinci on your lips and stuff. Like the amount of power someone like that would have. And then Garaku makes a face, which I wish it was bigger because I'd love it to be the thumbnail. But the evil face he makes, I love it. The smirking. He knows he's going to completely destroy this guy. And just says, everyone in this world, like everybody, the internet, the TV, everything, Garaku Utagawa is well known, widely recognized, and that just makes him all the stronger. Talking about himself in third person, and then uses an amazing attack. Art reflects reality. Soaring drawn dragon attack. What is with all the dragon attacks this week in manga? There are so many dragons this week. But it looks absolutely ferocious. It looks amazing, and he just, goodbye, my former master. Just one attack, boom, eats him. Eats him, done. Now, at first I was expecting the end of the chapter to then him go, ora, 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 I am still here, you think you're so much stronger, and we still could get that in the next chapter. That's why I'm going to withhold the judgment about killing off such a badass, like easily, very high tier, very evil antagonist that we could have had for, you know, an arc or something. I'm going to withhold my judgment and see what chapter 32 brings us. But this was so badass of Garaku. Just that expression alone was amazing. And he brings up the fact that he's no longer just a Sukumogami of a brush any longer. He is now an Ayakashi painter, Garaku Utagawa. And I'm like, alright, that's really cool. The end part actually has, Matsuri's okay, everybody's fine. The corrosive wind sort of dissipates. And Garaku finally brings up that, yes, Suzu is the reincarnation of the Ayakashi. Something we sort of assumed, and probably that spirit, that's sort of like in the Kikyo Kagome sense, they share the same soul. So as a reincarnation, the long-haired Suzu that we know of is probably the one from 150 years ago. That's her spirit sort of idea, using Suzu as a medium, ironically. And Garaku brings up that he was in love with the previous Ayakashi medium. It says, you know, I did everything I could to continue to exist, and that's how he gained so much power. He realized how Ayakashi gained power, so he made himself a painter so he could continuously survive and live and grow stronger, so he could wait for the day when he could meet the Ayakashi medium again. He's waited 150 years because he was in love with the previous one. Now, he does make this distinction. I was in love with your previous life. Not I'm in love with you, but I was in love with, you know, your previous one. So how he's going to deal with this and stuff. And remember, Garaku is the one who said, like, Matsuri's the hero of this Ayakashi medium story. Like, it's not my place and stuff. I'm just glad to see her again, sort of idea, and resonate with the soul or something like that. Like, we don't know what, he knew that it would be a reincarnation, so what his intention is, what he's feeling and stuff, we don't fully grasp that yet, and I'd like to see more of that. This chapter was all about Garaku. And I'm not disappointed because Garaku's like the best character in the series. So, so far I can't really give anything less than like an 8 for this chapter. It was just really fun. It was really good. Garaku showing off what a badass he is. And I'm just really excited to see what Chapter 32 will bring us. If we get more Garaku stuff, I can forgive the fact that they killed off such a evil, badass-looking villain like that. I mean, it was a flexing moment for Garaku, but now we're back to square one with where do we go from here? So let's just hold out for what Chapter 32 brings us and stuff. I thought it was a pretty good chapter, as I said. If you like Garaku, then this is just material for days, right? So hope you guys enjoyed the chapter, though. I really liked the chapter. As I said, I really liked it because I really like Garaku. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to drink responsibly. As always, we will see you guys back here next time for Chapter 32 of Ayakashi Triangle. Looking forward to it. See you guys next time.